Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.wordpress.com and back today with the Pootler's blog hop, which is showcasing products from the new annual catalogue. I'm making you a little box here, which is called my Lindor shaped box because it's based around the sort of the Lindor boxes, and we have some quite big ones here in the UK as long as some little dinky ones, and I wanted to make an even smaller one, and I'm going to do a few, including one for a single Ferrero, of course. And this is using a few of the new products. First of all, is the stamp set says Love and You, and that's from Scenic Sayings. And I've cut that out with one of the new Sweet and Sassy Nesting Heart framelits. And I've also used the new Pop of Pink designer series paper, which is basically a black and white paper, and then it's just got a bit of melon mambo on it as well, so it is that pop of pink. So the box is great, it's just a nice little size for all sorts of little gifts, opens up like so, and I've got a little heart-shaped candle which I wanted to pop inside, and that just fits in there, and you could probably fit a second one in as well. I've left the top opening, but I've actually glued that bottom one in just to make sure it's nice and firm. So you could have it the other way around, and I think probably I would prefer to have it that way around, so you've actually got the closure at the back. So we'll see what happens when I make this one on video. So without further ado then, to start off with, you're going to need either your scoreboard or your Stampin' Up trimmer. And if I zoom out, you should be able to see, apart from my messy desk, you should be able to see the top of the scoreboard. So you're going to start by scoring on the shorter edge at 1/2 inch. Then rotate that round and score at 1 3/4, 3 1/4, and 4 1/2. And then rotate it, score again at 1/2 inch. With your narrow bit on the left, you're then going to score the long one at 2 1/2, at 3 1/4, and at 6 3/4. So just take your extender arm out, and it just goes on that mark, just across the join, 6 3/4. So you're now going to do some partial scoring on these. And so with the narrow part on the left still, you're going to score the top, the middle and the very bottom at 4 inches. So I'm going to score the top, the middle and the bottom, and also at 6 inches. Top, the middle and the bottom. Okay, and that's all your scoring, and now you're going to need your scissors and your bone folder. The first thing you need to do is to reinforce those complete score lines. Don't try and do your part ones at the moment because you don't want any creases in the wrong place. So just reinforce those. Zoom in a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've used the basic black this time so that it goes in with the pop of pink, but will look slightly different. So once you've done your scoring with your narrow score on the left hand side, you're going to start cutting away. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut down to the second score line and cut away those two pieces on both sides. I will put a photograph of what it looks like when it's cut as a flat template for you. If I get a chance, I'll do one of my sort of diagrams, but if not, it'll be a photograph. Okay, so you cut away those pieces first. You're then going to cut away these two sections, top and bottom. Everything is on the top and the bottom at the moment. Okay, so you've got those two pieces cut away. Leave that piece complete and then cut away these two on either end. So you'll end up with a piece of card that looks like this. Now you're going to come up and cut up from the bottom and just notch out slightly. These are a couple of folding tabs. And then you're going to turn and you're going to come down that first score line. Okay? And repeat on the top. So cut the tab and then come down to the score line. You're going to rotate it and actually repeat that on the other end. So you're going to come down to create the tab and then cut in, down to create the tab and then cut in. So what you've got then is you can now score those middle tabs, and that makes your basic box, because that's going to come round and that's your gluing tab. Okay, these are your flaps that fold in at a bit of an angle, and then the top and the bottom are going to fold in and like so. And you'll see I've left it square, and the reason for that is whatever angle you get on the edges, you just trim it. So you don't have to do any careful measuring, you just trim to fit. So while it's still flat, I suggest we decorate. So assuming that I'm actually going to get it right and decorate the correct bit this time, I've decided to use the same paper, but to actually, because black can be quite, dark, I'm going to add a pop of pink, the melon mambo on the front there to lift it. And that piece of card is 1 7/8 by 1 3/8. I'm going to add a piece of DSP, and that's 1 3/4 by 1 1/4, and I'm going to do the same on these 4 little tiny panels here. So I've got 4 little pieces of DSP and 4 pieces of card. So I'm just going to layer those up. And this is a nice way, you can keep these boxes if you've got lots to do. If you're making wedding favours, then leave the layer out, because what you want to enjoy your preparations for the day. You don't want to be spending it, with lots of fiddly bits of paper. But if you've got the time, if you're just making 1 or 2, then it's perfect. You can make it as detailed as you like, and as I say, it just adds that little bit of extra dimension, and just the more layers you've got, it really can bring a project to life. And this is a DSP that on this pattern it has got a sort of right and a wrong way, so just be careful when you're putting them on that you've got them in the right orientation. Okay, so there's our DSP. So we're now going to stamp our love while it's still flat, and for this we're using the craft ink. So just take your craft ink pad and really make sure you ink it up well. And what I've done is I've put, there you go, so there's your love. And then I'm going to, on a scrap of Whisper White, I'm just going to stamp in Melon Mambo the heart with you. There we go, and that's it. Again, these red rubber stamps do stamp so beautifully. And then I'm taking this little framelit, and that's just going to go on the outside there, and you'll just see a little bit of white around. So put that through your Big Shot or whatever cutting machine you happen to have. Now, if you haven't got a cutting machine, then that's okay. You can cut it out by hand, and that would work just as well for you. If you've got a cutting machine, then for these new framelits, particularly ones where I do find I've invested in the magnetic platform, because it makes life so much easier. It holds them in place while you line everything up, and So there we go, there's our U. You can see it's just got a pretty little white border around it. And I'm going to put that straight away back in my pack for the framelits, as I have misplaced the framelits already because I hadn't got my magnetic sheet ready in my excitement of the new dies. So there we go, pop that away. And what I actually decided to do with this is to use the Sweetheart punch as well, and to actually just punch a heart out of a scrap of Melon Mambo, which I appear to have lost. So just punch this out, and actually you'll find that that then also layers up beautifully and gives you another interim heart shape. So we're just going to pop that on there. And then using a dimensional on the back, that will then sit right on the front there. Like so. So you've got lots of layers going on there. So now we've actually done most of our decorating. The only thing left to do is to put some hearts on. And I'm actually going to put a few on, but leave space for some more for when we've actually cut them to size. That's me dropping my equipment. Right. So to get those little tiny hearts, all I've done is I've taken the good old confetti border punch, and I'm going to just punch out some hearts there. And that's one of the few I do actually punch facing downwards, because otherwise they, oh well, I tend to spread things everywhere anyway, but as you've probably gathered. So next you need to put some little tiny dots of glue. Now you can use whatever glue you find. I did use the fine tip glue on the other one I made. However, that's quite a runny glue, and you do end up sometimes with a little bit of spillage. So I've actually got a fine glue pen, which I use for lots of things, and this is what's called a quickie glue pen, and it's great. It's a two-way glue pen, but it just isn't quite so runny, and it does stick quite quickly. So I'm just going to literally with this pen colour in a few little hearts on the back with the glue. Pop those around. So we've got some little hearts going on there. So now we've done that, what's left to do is actually to glue our box, which is very straightforward. We're just going to put some adhesive down the edge here. We'll use whatever adhesive you think. Obviously Fuse is perfect for this. And just line up that back edge like so. And once you've done that, those top flaps, the bottom ones, just fold in, and if you just literally take a sliver off those, just as with all boxes, it just helps go together. Like so. Do the same on the top, so you're just going to very carefully just notch out very slightly and fold that in. And then, as I said, so you've got this now box and you're kind of going, well, that looks nothing like the original one. But all you need to do now is come in with your snips and just snip the excess away. And that way, whatever, you know, if you haven't been quite accurate with your scoring and your box is just not quite perfect, well, do you know what? It doesn't matter, because by the time you have trimmed the box like so, the lid will be perfect. So there you go, there's our second little box. Opens on the top there. You might want to stick the bottom down. I'm happier with that one because you haven't got the seam showing at the front. So that's our little box. I hope you've enjoyed it. here's our original one in the pop of pink. Let me know which you prefer. I think my favourite is probably the one with the extra layering on, but if you're short on time, then this one looks just as adorable. So here you go. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you go on to find lots of inspiration from the rest of the Pootler's team. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.